off by saying congratulations on this album. It is an absolutely fantastic album, so congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So tell us a little bit about this album. It's the third album for the band. Did you guys have any goals or plans that you wanted to put into this album when you first started working on it?
To establish who I am, I'm the new guy. I joined last December.
Yep.
And so some of this happened before I came into the picture. I know that they were trying to outdo themselves. I knew that Stefan, the singer, he wanted to create this. He's very into sci-fi. He does writings. He does books on the side as well. So you'll have to refresh that question a bit.
Yeah, so what was it like being the new guy coming in, and like how did that all happen for you with the band?
It was through social media. I found them looking for a bass player. I moved to Germany. It took me 2 years to find a band, but they're very like-minded as artists, so it was a nice fit.
So tell us a little bit about those initial times when you got together to work on this album. When you said that they wanted to outdo themselves, so what kind of things did you talk about that you could change this time around for the album, especially with you, the new guy, being involved?
The story from my point of view is I changed one note. It was already recorded. By the time I joined, they were just looking to piece the band together for the live experience. But I did manage to get to the studio while they were mixing, and I actually heard one bass note, and I knew from learning the songs in the demo there was this one wrong note, and I told them before going in the studio, I think I'm a little scared that this note had slipped into the recording, and yeah, believe it or not, none of them caught this note. It was a low B instead of a C sharp. So I contributed one note.
Yeah. So one of the things that people are commenting on is the change of sound this time around. It feels like the sound has evolved to a whole new level. Keyboards have been included. Tell us a little bit about that discussion that you would have all had as a band about changing those kinds of things.
The keyboards, they have Andy Horn, the guy in the studio. He had a lot of, they kind of turned him loose for a lot of that, the ambiance. They call them synthes in the background because we don't have a live synthesizer player, but we will play with some of the tracks live.
Yep. The other thing that seems to hit you with this album is that genre-wise, it explores so many different sounds. Is that something that you all talked about? And what is it like working with a band where so many different genres are explored on the one album?
That is definitely, that I can honestly attest for. That's part of the personality and the heart of Reternity. It's a metal band. Stefan, he's told me on multiple occasions, he's not necessarily a metalhead. So they're willing to sculpt and mold around the genre.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. You made the big move to Germany. How did that come about? And were you a bit of a metalhead before you left? Because you're pretty much in the home of metal now.
We were living, my wife and family, we were living in North Carolina, and we were losing money because we were living in an expensive part. She just wildly threw out some applications for a teaching job through Dodeo, which is the Department of Defense, and she landed it, and we were all just freaking amazed. We moved to Germany. It took a couple of years to find them. What was the other parts of the question?
Were you a metalhead already, and how did you find it when you first got to Germany and started looking for a band?
No, I've been eclectic myself. I've played stand-up bass in country bands. When I first started, I played in punk bands, which can be metal-like with the intensity. I've sang in metal bands personally, but I've never played bass in a metal band. But it felt like a fairly natural transition for me.
So a lot of people call Germany the home of metal. What's the biggest difference that you've noticed with the music scene there to the music scene that you came from in North Carolina?
There's definitely music festivals dedicated to metal. Actually, I'm in North Carolina right now. I flew back to visit family, but I stuck around just because there was a big metal festival that we signed up to do. And yeah, they're amazing. It was a great experience for me.
So that must
It
be
was all the genre.
yeah, that must be something that you guys are really enjoying at the moment over the last couple of years with all the lockdowns and border closures and everything like that. How does it feel being able to get back out there now and play live?
Fantastic. Everybody's doing it. It's actually so hard to get gigs right now because everybody wants that experience. Everybody's been locked down.
So, did the pandemic affect the way that this album came together? Like, was there long periods of times where you guys couldn't get together and record, or how did you get around that?
I don't think so because I know that Stefan, the singer, and Karsten, the guitarist, they're the brainiacs. They're the guys that pieced everything together, even the drums. So, like, they're pretty amazing writers.
So, where to now for the band? As you said, the album is out. You're being able to play live shows again. What are the plans for the band going forward? Are you hoping to tour internationally, or what's the plans there?
They would absolutely love to. Stefan, the singer, has expressed numerous times, "Can you get us to America?" And I'm like, "I'll do what I can, my friend." But it's gig. We need gigs. Gig.
Yeah. So, going back to what we were talking about before, what's it like being the new guy coming into a band that's already established? Because, of course, it must feel a little bit strange coming into a band where the band's kind of found their sound and everything like that. Did you find that a little bit nerve-wracking, being the new guy and coming in as they were working on an album?
No, not for me, no, because I'm an overactive bassist. I'll work hours and hours at home on the parts, and I'll usually try and rewrite things that I think might be more intense. But as on that same page, I appreciate and I love Karsten's the bass lines he's already written. So there wasn't a whole lot of rewriting for me. And actually, when I first joined the band, it was on a messenger app, and I said, "Send me your hardest songs." And then within 30 minutes, I sent him a recording of me playing my part, and that's actually how I got pulled on board. It was kind of in that moment.
Wow, what appealed to you most?
I'm not even on that. What's that?
What appealed to you most about their music? Like, what was it when they first started talking to you that made you think, "Hey, this is the band I want to join"?
Well, I mean, honestly, at first, I just wanted a band. It's been 2 years for me. But the more I got to know them and I'm studying the songs, lyrically, I was amazed at how a German can write in English, and it's not cheesy. That kind of blew my mind. I asked him, like, how do you do that? And of course, he said, "I write from the heart. It just sounds cool to me," that kind of thing. You have to remind me of the question again. I'm sorry.
And like, then, like, what made you make that final decision? Like, yeah, this is the band I want to be in, because it's a pretty big decision to make. It's like joining a family. So, what was that final thing that got you over the line?
You just said it. The singer Stefan, his heart is like this big. It's ridiculous. Like, you think I don't know if people even think this anymore, but metalheads are scary. They put on their makeup or whatever, but no, it feels like a family. They welcomed me right away. There was no turbulence or anything like that.
So we talked a little bit before about Andy when we were talking about the keyboard, but what was Andy Horn like to work with as a producer, and what do you feel that he brought to the album?
I think he brought a lot, and as a producer, I just saw him working. You know, I'm seeing the backside of his head, and he's just doing his thing, skipping around through the little sound bites and things, like really quick, kind of like, "Oh, you've been doing this for a while." But just hearing them talk, I mean, they talk in German, sometimes they talk in English. That's the whole experience too for me, being born and raised in America. But he has other projects, so I know that he's got this crazy musical mind going on.
Awesome.
So he gets some solid credit. That's bottom line. Andy Horn.
Well, we're gonna play a track off the album on our show right now. So I guess to finish up the interview, what would you like to say to everybody out there, not only before they take a listen to the track, but also before they have a chance to listen to the album as well? Because I'm sure a lot of people out there who are listening right now are going to go out and search for this album as soon as they hear the interview and hear the track.
Well, we monitor our Facebook page a lot, so, I mean, any feedback is good. Even if you're going to give us something that's like, I didn't like this is too much of that. Any feedback, obviously, is what we want. We're trying to make music. We're trying to gather together people and just have some fun.